A silent threat lurked in my camper, ready to ignite at any moment. It almost turned my camper life into a fiery nightmare beyond nightmares. A camper fire has always been one of my worst nightmares. Well, I almost caused a fire and I almost left my dogs locked in this camper by themselves and left. Honestly, the thought of that scares the crap out of me. I love my dogs so much. And if I left them in here, it would take probably minutes for this tiny camper to burn to the ground. And no one would be able to get them out because my door is locked. The culprit was something that I didn't even think of checking. In this video, I share my close call with you in hopes that it can save a life out there. Don't let my mistake become your disaster. Learn from my near tragedy and make sure you're not overlooking this hidden danger in your RV. I'm visiting my birth mom and I can't stay in her house with my dogs because she has a cat and my dogs don't get along with cats. So I was going to stay in the camper in the driveway. Well, the weather got really, really hot. And living in a camper, by far, the most challenging season to live through is the summer. It was 96 degrees and my refrigerator was actually defrosting because I had the refrigerator set around 40, and if it's 96 degrees and the refrigerator is trying to lower the temperature 56 degrees, that's not going to happen. I was taking my mom out to do errands and I couldn't leave the dogs in here. So I decided to go to a campground. And I've stayed at this campground before. I figured I'll plug in here, I'll have the air conditioning on for them and for the refrigerator, and everything will be fine. And when I'm taking her places where I can't take the dogs with me, they'll be safe. I came here, I plugged in, I turned the air on, and my usual practice is to sit in the camper for a little while to make sure that everything is working correctly and they're safe. I always do this, even when I'm in a supermarket parking lot and I have to run in. I'll sit, I'm not even plugged in, but I have the windows open, the fans going, and I make sure that it's comfortable for them. Well, I started smelling plastic burning and I didn't see any smoke inside the camper. I went out to check my surge protector, which seemed like it was working fine. I went to the RV plug and tried to touch it and it was hot. Hot, hot, hot. So I shut everything down, waited for the plug to cool, pulled it out, and saw that one of the prongs on the exterior RV electrical hookup was burnt and started to melt. I have a little electrical extension plug that I was using. Well, that was burnt and the RV plug was burnt. So this really, really scared me because I almost left the dogs in here and left, and that could have easily started a fire. I tried to call RV repair guys. I called 3 guys, 2 of them couldn't get to me till the following week, and one guy, Tim's Mobile RV Service, thank you Tim, he came out, he squeezed me in the next day. We had a very uncomfortable night because when we were trying to go to sleep, it was still 90 degrees and I could not plug into electric. We survived, but it was not comfortable in the least. Tim ended up changing out that exterior receptacle, fixing the wiring. He had to get me a new cord to plug in because I couldn't use the old one, it was melted. He also checked the electrical box inside, and the connection to the electrical box that brings AC into the camper was also fried and melted, so he had to repair that. So everything right now is working fine, but this was something that I never even thought of because the outside 30 amp connection is screwed in There's silicone around the outside. I would never even think, oh, let me take the silicone out and pull this out and make sure these connections are tight. When you live in a camper, you're driving down the road and it's like a earthquake happening in your house at 70 miles an hour, right? Connections, screws, things loosen up. And I know that with the plumbing, I have to check that and make sure all the connections are tight. My cabinet doors, things have fallen off because the screws loosen up. So it makes sense that the screws to the electrical system loosen up. I didn't realize what a serious fire hazard that is. Tim explained to me that an electrical connection gets hot when the wires are loose due to increased resistance. Heat is generated and it's overheating and a fire can happen. Even a small amount of looseness can significantly increase resistance and heat generation. Regular inspection and maintenance of the wiring is critical. I didn't even know this was something that I needed to check periodically. And I asked Tim, how am I even supposed to check that? And he said it would be a good idea once a year, someone go through and check all my wiring and make sure everything is okay. Because he checked the wiring in the electrical box inside, and a lot of those connections were loose. And a fire could have started there. You need to know, because you can't tighten it really tight, and you can't leave it really loose. So I think I would feel better if a trained professional was looking at that for me. RV fires are more common than you think. An average of 4,200 RV fires are reported to fire departments annually in the United States. These fires result in an estimated average of 15 deaths, 125 injuries, and $60.3 million in property loss annually. When looking at this article from RV Life, 9 RV fire hazards you may not be aware of. Number 1 is malfunctions of the electrical system, and they specifically talk about the connections. Number 2 is propane system leaks, to make sure your carbon monoxide detector is working properly. Your RV refrigerator is known to cause fires, especially ones that run on propane. The wheels and brake system can cause fires. Stuff that you have near your RV cooktop, that can start a fire. Not having a working smoke detector, portable grills and campfires too close to the RV, not having adequate fire extinguishers in your RV, and gasoline and propane. This may seem really alarming. It's important to note that RV fires, most of them are totally preventable with routine maintenance and safety precautions. My heart still pounds when I think about it. It was by far the scariest day that I had living in this camper. Sometimes I feel like my channel should be how not to live in a truck camper because I've made a lot of mistakes in my RV, but this one was the scariest. It was life-threatening to my dogs and probably to me too. If I fell asleep and left that plugged in, it could have easily started a fire pretty quickly too. Learn from me, learn from my mistakes, and be safe out there. I appreciate all of you. Hopefully this can help someone. Thank you.